Hey friends, this is Jay Bartels, and it's late at night. What is today? Tuesday. I decided I needed to shoot this video. I felt compelled to do it because some members of my team Take Massive Action, have been putting a lot of effort into this. And last night I was on a call, and this gentleman Dave spoke, and I've heard him speak before, and he was telling my story. You see, I've been trying to present myself as a professional internet marketer for several years now, and one of the important things is to brand myself. So in this industry, we don't usually come out and talk about our past. We try to keep it positive. But when I heard Dave share his story, I felt it was time to share a little bit of mine. See, for the past, how do I tell you this? The fact of the matter is that I am a recovering drug addict. Now, there's a difference between, being an active drug addict and a recovering drug addict. I've been clean since August 6th, 2002, and it's just been an amazing journey. Now, the thing is, people ask me sometimes, well, once you got clean, was everything hunky-dory? But the thing is that life happens. So even through the past 10 years plus that I have been clean, there's been peaks and valleys because life happens. But what has to happen, and what had to happen with me, and this awesome lady, Layla Black, really puts it nice, I had to have a shift in the way that I was thinking. I found myself a few years back just going through some really bad depression, and I was focused on my bills. I was focused on being able to pay the rent. You see, I've been a single father of 2 awesome daughters for the last 10 years, and there's been a lot of pressure on me to give them the life that they deserve, and trust me, they deserve it. They're awesome kids. So, a few years back, I went through some really bad depression, even with several years clean. And I realized, and I don't know how I realized this, but someone pointed out to me that I was focusing so much on my problems that I couldn't think about the future, much less the present. See, the more I said that I was broke, the more I talked about not being able to pay the rent, the more that became my reality. And it goes back even when I was in addiction. I'll try to do an analogy here that you might understand. If you're out there and you're still struggling with an addiction of any sort, alcoholism, whatever it is, it's very similar to when someone who cared about me, they used to come up to me all the time and they would say, "Jay, we love you, but you have a problem. You have a drug problem." And I was in denial. So I would say, "No, I don't have a drug." I would get angry. "No, I don't have a drug problem. I'm fine, just, let me be." So basically I was in denial. So as long as I kept lying to myself, believing that I didn't have a drug problem, well, then I couldn't take the first step in recovery, which is admitting I had a problem and that my life had become unmanageable. So you see where I'm going with this? That was my reality. My reality was based on my thoughts and the lies that I was telling myself. See, everyone knew I was a drug addict except me. So here's the cool thing. We do recover. That's the awesome thing about this is, you see, alcoholism, drug addiction, there's many kinds of addictions out there. It could be food addiction, gambling addiction. But you know what? We do recover, and I'm living proof. So here's this mind shift that I had, Basically, there's such a thing called as a poser. That's the way we portray ourselves on the outside, but on the inside, often we're insecure, not as confident as we portray ourselves to be. But when you get rid of those tapes, see, there's these tapes that play in our heads for years and years. We're not good enough. We're a failure. I never complete anything. You start believing those things, so it makes it hard to move forward with your life because you're stuck believing those old lies. And it came to a point where I don't know how it happened, when it happened, But my whole mind shift began to take a new path. A path that, believe me, check this out. You know, I overcame drug addiction, okay? I was homeless. I was living out on the street, whether I was sleeping in a park bench or trying to find a place on the beach. I was totally hopeless. I was down to like 140 pounds. I was near death. While I was in recovery, my wife at the time, my ex-wife, was still using. My daughters were taken into foster care. They were 3 and 6. I was in a 6-month treatment program. Now let's think about this. So if I can overcome addiction, okay, if I can get off of the streets, if I can actually go out there again and become a productive member of society, get a job, get my own place, get a car, and fight for over 1.5 years to get my daughters back, then there's nothing, and I'm telling you, then there's nothing that I can't do. And that's the beauty of it all. So whether you're out there suffering with addiction, depression, lack of confidence, you know, first of all, you need to stay away from negative people, the people who try to steal your dreams, the people who don't believe in you. Surround yourself with positive people who are going to encourage you. That is so important. You know, today I wrote a blog. You know, I actually started this story about 8 years ago. I set up my first website and started blogging about addiction and recovery, trying to give back, which was so freely given to me. And I came across it today, and it's like, you know, it's like 10 years, coming up on 11 years clean, and I decided to take that old blog and update it to today. So I'm going to leave a link below, but that's not what this is about. This is about Jay Bartels coming up. You know, everything has changed so much in the past few months. My way of thinking, you know, my happiness, this freedom, this peace that I enjoy. I'm seeing my finances change. Why are my finances changed? Because I stopped complaining about how bad the economy was. I stopped focusing on my rent was overdue, right? And I started focusing on the positive things. I started claiming out loud and believing that I had all the money I needed. My kids had everything they needed and more. I set a goal, how much money I was going to make in the next 90 days, and I'm on path. Because, you know, you have to get it in your mind. It's one thing to say you're going to do something. It's another thing to say you want to do something. But it's very important that you believe you can do it and that it's already done. So my name's Jay Bartels. I'm a little late getting started with these coming up videos. But I just thought I'd share that with you. So thanks so much for watching. God bless.